在退役之后呢，我依旧是在每天都非常认真的玩英雄联盟，因为我特别喜欢它，就是我的兴趣和爱好。我现在的游戏技术不会比之前差太多吧，虽然说有一点点的下降。
从我退役以来，我都是在做一个直播的工作，然后目前的话还有在写一些攻略，这样子让一些玩家知道一些特定英雄的打法。
我打职业的时间有这么多年了，然后积累了这么多的一批粉丝在支持我，然后喜欢我，包括认同我，我觉得对于我来说是一个莫大的荣耀。这个就跟我之前拿到多少成绩啊什么都没有关系，有这样的一批粉丝对于我来说，我觉得就是一个荣耀。我觉得我会非常感谢他们，也非常开心。
我知道一定会有很多粉丝会投给我，但是我没有想到我退役以后还是会有这么多的粉丝去投给我，然后让我当选这一次来到巴黎参加这一次明星赛。我也许是最后一次我参加这种大型比赛。
因为我跟 Toys 是一个交手非常多的一个老对手了，我觉得他当时在 SR 的时候非常的 crazy。他那个时候的无论是线上的能力还是一个打团战的能力都很强，然后在之后我其实是比较佩服他的一个非常稳定，然后有能量的爆发，在后期会有能量的爆发。
其实一直以来跟他交手这么多次，其实米赛是一个跟进版本很快的选手，然后这一点是选手必须要包含的一个能力。因为6连杀目前的话是不会有2个中单出现的，所以就变成说应该是2个打野，所以我们应该是不去打野的。
对，所以说我觉得发挥的话就是尽力吧。
对，就是自己懂多少打多少。
我们准备很多人，我跟草莓那个是想着一起打中路，然后一起打野区，然后去抓对面的中路，然后就很多人跑到中路去把那个中路给抓了，就是全部在打中单。
应该说每个人都觉得自己那队会赢。
对啊，
肯定不会觉得，
我不可能说他们队
对啊，他队会赢，他们队会赢，不能这样讲的。
对，我们队会赢，我们队会赢，
但是我们队会赢。
是。
Welcome back to the All-Star Paris 2014. We are about to kick off day 2 here inside Le Zenith with our second challenge game, Hexakill, where the 2 former pros that were voted will join the 2 teams.
Right, we've got Toys, the former mid laner from Season 2, world champion Taipei Assassin. They're going to join, or he's going to join Team Fire. And then we have the former world elite mid lane star, Messiah. He's going to be joining Team Ice.
Yeah, the fans are a little bit fired up to see these guys again. On the line are once again 2 points and obviously bragging rights for these teams. For Team Ice, a win here would actually tie them up with Team Fire because they lost yesterday.
Yeah, so what is going to be the best usage of the 6th man? This is the key question for Hexakill.
It's going to be interesting to see because one thing I like about Hexakill is it's kind of a return to before people knew how to play League of Legends. You know how everyone used to just have 2 people in the top and bottom lane, and then when there's a jungler, like, there's 2 people up here, man, why aren't you helping me out? You could exactly have this again if a team decides to go double jungle or if they decide to go double top. I think those are the 2 main choices.
Yeah, I think that the double jungle is the best choice because we don't have any bans. If you take 2 strong early game junglers and you get a laner that's fine in a 2 versus 1 situation, you can gain so much of an advantage by punishing the other team if they only have 1 jungler.
And the irony is that it's Toys and Messiah, 2 very well-known mid laners from Asia.
Yeah, I mean, I actually wouldn't be surprised if Messiah just ended up going mid lane and they just cleared it out for him, just for the spectacle of it, you know, to get to see him again.
On Twisted Fate?
Twisted Fate would be awesome, yeah. That would be
As a Cassidy just destroys him on his face. I think the early game junglers, though, if we did get a Lee Sin and the Elise, would be like the 2 strong ones.
Yeah, Lee Sin and Elise definitely very high up there because they both have executes. They're both mobile. As soon as each of them hits that level 3, they have so many different moves that they can pull off.
Yeah. So, I mean, if it is 2 top laners, would they go for another AD support maybe in that top lane? Really? Because then they're losing that bruiser, but if they get a bruiser jungler, it opens a whole new level of gaming up.
I think that if you go 2 top, then you definitely have 2 supports, 1 bottom and 1 top. However, you don't have to bring another AD carry. You don't have to.
I'd want to bring a kill lane.
I know you're
doing this.
You're
I would
definitely
absolutely
a fan
just
of the
want to bring
Darius.
like a bunch of tanks in the top lane. Do the old, like once again,
double stun,
just a bunch of utility. Because CC and AoE spells, honestly, they're overpowered in this mode. because there's an extra person you get to AoE.
Oh, I mean, okay, so what about, we were talking about it off-air beforehand, multiple shields, multiple heals, something like that.
Yeah, I think that has value as well. Just obviously, because Soraka has so many AoE abilities, whether it's magic shredding or healing everyone, Karma with an AoE shield. If they wanted to play a Soraka in a fun mode like Hexakill, I think it would be really strong.
And we should mention, this is blind pick. There's no bans,
Yeah.
and it is a straight blind pick mode. There's no draft mode.
The thing about Soraka is, not only does she get to heal an extra person with her ult because it hits everybody on your team, but also, because there's more people on the map, everybody's in the same amount of space, you get to hit more people with Star Call. Her effectiveness just goes out of this world.
Well, let's check out those starting lineups, of course. So, over on the blue side, it is Team Ice. And, of course, that means Froggin's the captain. He's alongside Doublelift and Mad Life, that duo everybody wants to see. Salmei has, unfortunately, had to depart to Paris early due to family issues. He will be replaced by OMG's Cool, who is here as a substitute. Archie is also in there. And alongside him, of course, is now Messiah.
Way over on the end there, because we've added the 6th seed, actually, into that.
Now, there's something I wanted to talk about in the game, but I guess we'll just leave that for later. On the red side, we've got Team Fire. Diamond, Bjergsen, Shy, Wei Zhao, QTV, and of course, Toys. Very, very close to your camera.
Yeah, I mean, Bjergsen called him the OG of the mid lane, if he was calling it, because, I mean, he was the one who dominated in Season 2, and that's really when Bjergsen was really getting into it, as he's been that young kid coming up now. He was watching him as he was growing up.
Yeah, it was a similar thing. Doublelift always likes to talk about how he looked up to Wei Zhao very early on. Same thing with the mid laner, Messiah and Bjergsen, and a lot of mid laners looking up to
Yeah, I mean, Messiah was like the guy that everybody looked up to for a long time, and then as Messiah did, gave a lot of credit to Toys there. Basically had to say, you know, came through Season 2, he was the man in that mid lane, dominated the likes of Rapid Star, Froggen, etc. as they went through the group stages.
A lot of mutual respect between the two guys.
Yeah, and with the respect, I kind of wonder, obviously, these teams are thrown together, the best players pretty much from every region, and honestly, Messiah and Toys, they still play the game at a really high level.
Yeah.
I wonder how much there's going to be of playing the game to, like, pick or win, or just playing to kind of look good yourself. You know, Shy.
I'm pretty sure from the conversations we've had, Diamond wants to win this competition.
Yeah.
Diamond definitely wants to win. Shy looked like he wanted to have fun with his full mana Blitzcrank in the rapid fire mode.
We heard a funny story. It was just like, I think it was Bjergsen talking to Shy. It's like, you want to play Ezreal? And he just looked at him and said, Blitzcrank. And he was like, all right, I guess I'm playing Ezreal. And then Bjergsen's the one who ended up carrying the game.
Yeah, talk about making yourself look good. Bjergsen looked spectacular in that rapid fire mode. To be fair, once you get going in rapid fire, it's hard to slow someone down, especially if you're on Ezreal, mobile carry like that.
And it was funny discussing, obviously, he went with the Gunblade, which you were discussing at the time, saying, well, the cooldown affects this one. And actually even talking between the players this morning at breakfast was like a case of, how did you figure it out? He's like, well, I just figured out, you know, the cooldowns, it's a great item. And then no other pro player figured that out. It's like, that's a really good idea.
So anytime that you can combine percentage cooldown reduction with a flat cooldown reduction, it's extremely effective. That's why Rise and stuff like that is banned in the mode.
But not Gunblade. And that's one thing as well we have to mention. I mean, these pro players actually, for the most part, didn't play a huge amount of these custom game modes. So even though, yes, they were out on live for a while and they had a lot of experimentation time, these guys were doing LCS, LPL, OGN, and just now they're kind of coming in and then having to communicate with each other. All right, what is actually the optimal strategy? So I wouldn't be too surprised if we saw completely different approaches from both these teams.
I really hope that we do, because it's more exciting that way. And I feel like Diamond's team coming out with Diamond being a strong captain and trying to get everybody organized right off the bat kind of got the other team off guard, and now they want to catch up. Everybody else has decided, whoa, Diamond's taking this so seriously.
Whoa.
Hey, man, we're going to take this seriously, too.
Doublelift doesn't want to die 13 times again.
Absolutely. He didn't want to be first blood either. He was not happy about that.
He was embarrassed in front of his coach on the analyst desk.
But I will just say, I mean, we're obviously just delaying. You saw Froggen there with his headset coming off. We just went in for an audio issue to be fixed, and you saw the sound guys diving at his PC, so that's being fixed. He's now got his headset on, so hopefully we'll be getting going in just a few moments. But what are we realistically thinking of in picks and bans for this? Obviously, there is no ban, sorry.
Yeah.
It's all picks, blind pick. So go with what you want. So literally, these players can get their #1 champion.
That's the big thing. This is the game, if they really want it, to just play exactly what they want. What if Doublelift Mad Life did a Lucian is his favorite champion right now, and then Mad Life, they can pick Blitzcrank. Would they do Lucian Blitzcrank?
Gotta go Blitzcrank.
Or even just Lucian Thresh. I mean, let's be fair.
I'd be happy with
as
that.
far as what's better right
His
now.
Thresh is pretty damn
Yeah.
good right now.
Listen to that.
A lot of support for Diamond there, and rightfully so. He's done a great job being the captain of the team.
You can't argue with that. Bjergsen was and put on a MVP yesterday and put on a dominant performance. What, 24 kills, 3 deaths, something like that. It was pretty incredible. There is Shy, of course. He's always looking so happy.
Blitzcrank.
Maybe he'll do it again. We'll see what he pulls out in the top lane, of course. He's always been that tanky top laner. I remember his singed for a long period of time, and nobody could stop him. We'll see how it works out for him, of course. They've got a number of choices, and it'll be interesting, as you say, whether they'll go with that kill top lane.
Yeah. I mean, whether it's double jungle or not, I know there's only one true jungler.
So what would be the
both these
advantage over going double jungle compared to double top? What, I mean, who gains the advantage there, or is there one?
So it all depends on how quickly the team that has 2 laners can collapse. Because if you go double jungle, you do not spend your time in your own jungle.
No.
You are going for invades.
Yeah.
You use your double junglers. You try and get the other jungler behind. And if the other team's lanes do not collapse quickly enough, you can easily take out a jungler. 2 versus 1 in the early game, if they catch you at a camp, they will destroy you before your team has any time to react. So if the team is not running 2 junglers, they need to have a strategy prepared to defend against that.
Yeah, especially when you consider the early game power of things like Lee Sin and Elise.
Yeah, we're so hyped up on...
Yeah, if you had 2 really strong top laners against one person, you're actually going to get 3v2'd. As soon as Lee Sin and Elise come in with buffs of their own, it's probably closer to the optimal strategy, but we'll see what the teams decide to end up going with, because it's blind pick, and it's going to be pretty fast.
Well, they're going to start popping into place in just a moment. You can see them on your screen. Who is going to lock in? Who is going to go with what? Let's quickly glimpse down. You can see there's an Anivia in there. Mad Life actually hovering over it. Everybody random in, pacing through everything.
If we thought there was an issue of people mousing over a pick to get the crowd going in normal draft, what's going to happen now?
Well, Toys is holding out. He's the only one so far. We'll see which way this goes. Messiah on LeBlanc at the moment. That'd be great to see. Of course, he's alongside Frog, and he's got that Anivia Doublelift with the Vayne. Everybody's holding their sort of their known champions right now. He needs a Twisted Fate switching from Messiah.
The only thing that's not switching back and forth rapidly right now are summoner spells. And currently we have 2 smite each.
Yeah,
Ooh,
that would show double jungler right there. It makes sense. Cool and Archie. That would mean Froggen might actually end up being a top laner if they let Messiah go mid. Look at that crowd. You probably can't even hear me right now.
Well, the crowd is loving it, that's for sure. And why not? Because this could be fantastic. There is one locked in. It is Elise. Elise has been locked in there. Doublelift also locking in alongside Mad Life, as you said. Lucian and Thresh.
Kassadin as well is locked in for Messiah.
Pantheon
And
is
every
another
game.
very strong early game jungler. So they're looking to try and combat the Elise Lee Sin combo.
I think they wanted the Twisted Fate. They're not happy.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Toys is on Orianna. That's what he played in the Season 2 Worlds.
All right, those are the teams.
Now,
Right there.
look at these double junglers. Because they both have Lee Sin, really the wild card is Elise Cocoon. Can you land your Cocoon? If you do not, Pantheon doesn't have to aim his stun.
Exactly.
If you guys meet up in the jungle and Elise misses her Cocoon, then it could be bad.
If we're speaking about double jungle, Pantheon Lee Sin, guaranteed Lee Sin skill shots too if they set the gank up right. Could be pretty dangerous.
Yeah.
So let's
those are
hit the
two junglers
champions
that aren't
quick.
junglers.
Let's hit the champions quick. So, Froggen on Aurelia, Lucian for Doublelift, Thresh for Mad Life, Lee Sin being picked up by Cool, so that's a double jungle. Alongside him is Archie, of course, on, I'm trying to see who it is, Pantheon, of course, and of course Kassadin for Messiah. So, on the other side,
on the fire side is going to be Diamond on Elise, but we're in the game. Bjergsen on Lee Sin, Shy on Jace, Wei Xiao on Lucian, QTV on Alistair, and of course Toys on Orianna.
So as the game is about to get underway, we want to know who you guys think is going to win this one. Use the hashtag IceWin or hashtag FireWin. Tweet it at LOL Esports, and we will find out who you guys at home feel will win. Here we go then, ladies and gentlemen, straight into the game, Ice versus Fire.
Now, one of the most, to me, about Hexakill as a mode is the way that it changes the in-game economy of Summoner's Rift. Oh, we're going to get a really early invade here, though.
Well, they don't see each other, so
they
keep talking
just
about the
barely
economy.
patched.
Yeah.
Okay, so because when you have a closed system, and you keep the supply the same while increasing demand, I mean, all of the minions and all of the objectives are kept constant here, while you're adding 2 more players to the Rift. That increases the cost of each objective. Talked about double junglers. If they both decide to go for 1 buff, you're going to have to commit more of your champions to that buff, and you have to commit more people to every objective that you want to take.
Well, you could also just comment on how it's going to slow the game down a little bit too, because as far as actual farm distribution, everyone's going to be getting slightly less gold. When you compare that to Earth, where you have Bjergsen with 15,000 gold at 14 minutes, this is most likely a much longer game.
Passive gold generation will stay the same, but everything else remains constant here. They just barely missed, by the way. That was such a close pass with the 2 invades here, but we are going to start both of them on the red buffs, and both junglers are going to start the same buff. Now, let's discuss the risks of actually, with double junglers, trying to start 2 buffs. If you spread yourself thin, you very well could come out with a 2 buff start right when they spawn. However, it's much, much safer to just have both of them in one spot.
Yeah, especially considering the added roaming on this map. It's very easy to get caught. They're more interested in that red buff right now.
So both of them are going with the riskier start. They want to get 2 buff starts. They're not going to be at the same buff, and it pays off for both teams because neither of them go for the collapse.
So both teams, they figured out the red buff. Everybody knew there was going to be the steal. So let's have a look. What are the lanes developing like? It's going to be QTV alongside Wei Xiao down that bottom line, up against Doublelift and Mad Life. But we see Messiah in the mid lane, of course, on that Cassidy up against Toys. This is what we wanted to see, ladies and gentlemen. The old World Elite mid laner up against the old Taipei Assassins mid laner.
We actually have incredibly cool lane matchups, but there's going to be a lot of ganks.
Oh, Bjergsen on that Lee Sin will take a hit. He's actually on SK Telecom's skin, I believe, as well. So gets a lot of damage on Messiah early on.
Yeah, we get to see the fabled matchup here. However, as you said, there's going to be a lot more ganks with a lot more junglers. Up top, though, is where we're
oh man,
ISIS
that's a lot of people going up there.
Oh, the hook, though, down the bottom. There's going to be the kick landing. Archie does manage to catch onto a Shy. We also saw Mad Life landing that hook. QTV taken very low by the double life combo down this bottom lane. Doublelift must be really happy about playing alongside Mad Life. I know I would be.
Yeah, this lane is going to be really exciting. If Doublelift and Mad Life don't do well, they are going to be so criticized by their format people because theirs should be the best.
Well, those hooks keep on coming. There's a flake. QTV has to flash away from it this time around. A lot of summoner spells already blown in this bottom lane.
And a lot of mana burned here from Mad Life. He's constantly throwing out these hooks to get the advantage. Now he's actually completely dry.
Double invade coming out. Bjergsen and Diamond joining in towards Archie. Cool putting a lot of damage back down on towards them. They're going to try and transfer it around. Bjergsen taking low. Bjergsen goes down. He gets first blood in the meantime. Teleport comes out. Shine joins the party. He drops the hammer down. Froggen gets one, but he's all on his own now because there's another 2 dropping down. Froggen's in trouble. That's going to be a triple kill. Would you believe it?
And we see how they're fighting over the same amount of resources. We're going to see so many more fights early in this game because there's so much less for them to get.
And I think it's really important how yesterday Team Fire was the more organized team. They're also the team with the only true jungler who, when they went in there, they had the level advantage and they took this down. Even though they ended up getting first blood away, they're level 3s versus level 2s, and they're also able to collapse better, much better, despite this being on the ice side of the map.
It was great focus by them to both take down the Lee Sin first, but then we see the teleports coming in.
Chaos.
As we said, everybody joins. Everybody's committed because they don't want to give up the jungle sides. It's so important for them.
And the difference, obviously, Shy on that Jace is so strong early on.
Toys
Toys gets jumped in, so many stuns, just locking him down, and Messiah picks up the kill.
We're going to see a lot of that. When there's 2 junglers ganking, it's bad enough to have to deal with the Pantheon early game. Oh dear.
Basically what we're seeing is Hexakill is a test for how to deal with overpopulation because everybody's getting desperate for gold. They're just going full on aggressive.
Well, you gotta pick good skirmishers, I suppose.
Yes, gotta pick good early game skirmishers because people are fighting tooth and nail for every little bit of gold.
I mean, so let's talk about traditional top lanes. Froggen versus Shy in this top lane.
He's got double buff.
The old mid laner up against him. But as you mentioned, Shy's got triple kill back there. How hard is that to go up against now?
Because he went tier, he's going to have a little bit of scaling where he has to catch up here as he gets aggression right now. But later, he should take over. Ooh, man.
So close. Now, if you hit that Lee Sin Q, you take it.
Uh-oh, Archie's in trouble. There's a double combo. Bjergsen and Diamond ganging up once again. And Archie this time looks like he's not going to be able to escape. Shy comes in, gets himself a 4.
My God, he's going to be a beast. 4 kills with the weak early game build. He's going to have so much mana late game. He can actually carry very, very well on this Jace.
If we think about this, this is Shy at the All-Star game on Jace. Last year, he destroyed the world as Jace, and he's doing it again in Hexakill.
Well, Cool and Madlife joining in here. You can see they're pushing back onto Diamond once again. They got Froggen in support. He comes right,
dear.
gets the stun
Jace?
down on him. He's going to repel, manages to use Madlife as a flea, but you can see he gets caught up. Cool comes in, he gets the kill.
Shy still has double buffs though, and he's spamming the gate. They're on the chase.
Messiah locking down. Is he going to get the silence down? Shy wants to
Doubles.
focus. So much gold up in hand. It's Madlife that gets the kill on his teammate, Shy.
Why wouldn't it be Mad Life? He made it up to the top lane. He's saying double it. You can have fun down there, but there's too much happening on the map. He went up and got
Hey, we got this
kill.
thing good 5 minutes maybe of the double lift Mad Life lane.
Yeah.
That's enough.
They were doing well.
They did well.
Yeah, they proved it.
Well, at the moment, it's definitely Fire that are being the more aggressive. They're the ones that are pushing the invades. They are the ones that are in the jungle of ice. Messiah's trying to get going in this mid lane, though.
Also, we gotta watch which of these pair of junglers stay together more, because you do not get bonus experience from the actual jungle. However, your ganks are so much more potent. So that's the difference we just saw in that top lane.
And I'd have to say that as far as sticking together, it's been the Bjergsen Diamond combo. Those guys are just basically holding hands through the jungle when they go for ganks. They're split up kind of for the first time right now, but the ganks with 2 people have been so much more effective.
Yeah, just to try and clear the jungle more effectively right now. The one buff that is up right now is blue. With 2 junglers, it's going to be even harder for a mid laner to get their double buff now, or even just a single blue buff.
Oh, man.
We'll have to see if they can give it over to him.
Archie is level 3, so you can really see how the junglers are falling behind here. The overpopulation is starving out Archie at the moment, as he can't even get his own buffs.
I actually understand Froggen going without Aurelia actually is quite a sneaky ploy, because obviously with the more players on the map, when he goes in for those big team fights, his passive's going to work even better.
Well, speaking of that, getting your own buffs, chat, you actually do have that comeback mechanic. So Archie getting that red buff is going to be huge for him. It's so hard for him to even take it down, though. He's run completely out of mana.
Another
so he
big
has no
gank job.
presence on the map.
Nice dash there by Froggen trying to go in for Diamond, but he is in so much pain in that lane. Look at Shy.
Just wait until he combines that tier with his longsword, and then the pain will really start to rain down.
Yeah, Manamune early for Shy will be absolutely unstoppable. We're only 8 minutes in. This has been much faster paced than I expected, actually.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm telling you, man, people get desperate when there's not as much on the board.
everybody wants that gold. The teleport coming in. QTV's taking all of the culling damage. Froggen comes in. The headbutt does knock him away. Madlife pulls Froggen straight back in, and Double Lift gets the kill.
Madlife has really been abusing his range advantage in that bottom lane, both having Lucians, but the discrepancy between Alistar and Thresh is definitely apparent here, making some big plays.
And it's interesting how he's actually rushed those boots of mobility on Thresh as well, knowing that there's so much roaming in this game with the double Lee Sins and everyone ganking. He wants to be able to get there to throw lanterns and save lives. Or get kills.
All right, this turret about to go down, but it looks like a safe take for them. Now, the thing I want to point out is, yes, there's 6 people now, and each person still has a trinket, but there's still not that much vision on the map.
No, who cares about vision at this point? You got so many people, you got more walking wards.
There you go.
And they were considering the Dragon, which would be possibly the first time we'd see a full-on 6-on-6. There is a teleport for Shy. Archie's going to find Bjergsen in that jungle, just tosses a spear his way. Diamond is ready and waiting to go in there, so Team Fire look like they want to start that jungle off. Dragon off.
Yeah. Shy, meanwhile, has been left alone in that top lane. He has his teleport ready for if that dragon does get started. He's going to put a lot of pain onto this turret, though. Double wave with a cannon minion.
Yeah, Shy's actually going to have to start joining the fray because Team Ice has actually been able to pull off a fairly decent-sized advantage here. 1,000 gold, more roaming ganks. The fact that Messiah's at level 6 on Kassadin, they're really making stuff happen. Toys gotta watch out a little bit.
Yeah, Kassadin is very, very scary when we do get to the late game against any mages, so Toys is going to have a hard time. Luckily for Team Fire, they've got a lot of attack damage on their team as well.
We'll see how it develops. You can see in the top lane, 3 members stacking. Messiah almost taking Toys down. It looks like the top turret is now the focus, though, for Ice.
They're really going all out for Shy here. I think we're going to see the turret pushing starting very soon as they're trying to make up for it on the bottom side as well. There are 3 Team Ice members near the red buff of Team Fire.
Yeah, they've committed to up top. However, there was not much for them to get up there.
Well, you can see in the mid lane, they're jumping on towards Bjergsen. Bjergsen getting focused down. A lot of damage, gets kicked into the wall. Escapes with a safeguard on Diamond.
Escaping a 4-man gank. Pretty damn impressive there. He did have to burn everything, but the interesting thing about that 4-man gank, it's not like they sacrifice lanes because they have the people to share. Froggen has to take the top turret.
I don't think any lane is going to be left for nobody to have experience in.
Yeah.
Somebody's always going to jump
There
out.
are no free minions here, it seems.
So Shy dropping the hammer in the top lane, has got that Man Immunity and the Vampiric Scepter built up already. Of course, remember, he got that triple at the start. He's the one that, once these team fights start, could make a big difference, but Froggen has done a really good job at keeping up with it.
And I do want to say something, if I have a moment, about Kassadin. I was ready to talk about him if he made it into the actual games, but he has been banned at the start of all of them. So with the new Kassadin, he actually gets more damage per level scaling than he used to. He used to hit his damage cap basically at level 13, but now so much of that damage has been moved into his W, and it gives such big mana return when he actually does land it. Kassadin really hits his peak actually at level 18 now, as opposed to around level 13. And if this game goes really long, that's when Messiah is absolutely going to take over.
Well, the Dragon goes down, you saw it there. So Team Fire do pull themselves back in. It's still just a 500 gold deficit between these teams. Still very close, and Shy still trying to put some work in to take that turret down, but Froggen not allowing him.
He is doing his best up there, and he's also got another roaming support. Mad Life, you mentioned the mobility boots. He's made his way up top again, and they're collapsing on Shy.
Oh, God.
They're going to lock him down. There's the Flay. Knocks one away with the hammer. He's not going to be enough. He gets locked up. It's Mad Life again with the kill on Shy.
Now, Mad Life went with those mobility boots. Meanwhile, Alistar hasn't been able to get any boots. He's investing in an early talisman. I kind of like this gambit for him, though, because even though early game, he won't have the mobility to move around, a team mobility like Talisman is going to pay off really, really big towards that mid-game, when your whole team needs to be collapsing.
Oh, there comes Messiah jumping on, and there's the stun, there's the hook, and a wombo combo takes him down. Bjergsen had no chance this time.
Team Ice is absolutely taking control of this game. More mobility overall, no true jungler right now, but the Kassadin pick, just combined with all the other jumps like from Pantheon, are chasing Fire down.
Where's Diamond going? Where is he going to run to? Where's he going to hide? He manages to land the cocoon on Messiah, but he's just going to catch a Rift Walk back on towards him. He's got Cool and Froggen coming in. There's going to be double up. No! The tower hit's not going to land either. We do see Diamond going down to Froggen as well.
Second time that Toys has barely escaped with his life. He is holding on in that mid lane, trying to fend off all these attackers that keep come visiting.
Yeah, I mean, technically at the end of the game, he could land a 6-man shockwave, but it's going to be a while until he's got a big impact, because he is kind of a sitting duck in a game full of Hawks.
You can see Shy once again, he's in trouble. Where's he going to run? This 3-man roaming team is just knocking him down once again, and it's an easy kill this time for Messiah.
That basically felt like a replay. I could have sworn we saw that happen a few minutes ago. They are just camping him up top because he keeps trying to push his advantage. He doesn't actually have the damage yet to crush people, and he's dying to ganks.
We talked about the build for him having to scale up a little bit, and they're just trying to head off that big threat before it gets into anything. This was, we knew it was going to happen to Diamond.
Can't run away that far.
It was really just how much of those 3 champions' time can Diamond waste? Because if you can pull 3 champions, that's huge. That's half of the enemy team.
Froggen's actually getting pretty strong amongst all of them.
He's got to dodge this.
He flashed away, does get caught out. Bjergsen's going to keep on chasing, as you mentioned, but he's got no mana here. He can't engage, but Mad Life is coming in. Mad Life will join the party. There's the exhaust down. Oh, no. Now they're fancying it. There's the ultimate coming down. Mad Life just kites him around. Froggen gets the kill.
Doesn't matter if you miss the play, if you hit the hook.
I mean, that's Mad Life. He's going to land something on top of you. Froggen there, going back to base actually with 2,700 gold. We'll be able to purchase some real goodies. Trying to do Wicked, his teammate, best service on Aurelia, just trying to win it with any matchup. He's doing quite well.
And also, he's gone with the early speed build again that we did see from Soaz as well.
Alacrity rush.
He's rushed this mobility before even completing that Trinity Force.
Well, it definitely needs to try and work him down at the moment. We're seeing this mid lane. Toys and Messiah, they haven't been able to go at it too much. Toys has managed to evade a lot of the damage being coming his way. It's Messiah that's definitely been roaming around. Teleport going up towards the top lane. It is Froggen going up there. He's going to try and come around back on towards Shy. Shy is wondering which way am I going to go here. Froggen's going to chase him down. He's got no support though. He may actually be in trouble himself.
Yeah, Froggen's on the backside now. Shy's been able to kite him into the rest of the team.
Caps around, Bjergsen joins the party, Shy, but he kicks him into the Baron pit. Not what he wanted, he regresses the Baron, and now the Baron's actually attacking. Messiah comes in, Bjergsen gets out of there, and now Messiah's in trouble. He gets locked up, pulverized headbutt, bounced around in the river, and he will get taken down.
Meanwhile, down bottom, Team Ice are not going to let that aggression go without a answer. They're shoving down this mid lane turret, or bottom lane turret. They've already taken it.
Yeah, and there had to be so much invested to kill Messiah and Froggen that the other 4 people were able to do something. These guys, obviously they don't have the best communication because they're all speaking different languages, but the instincts are still there. They're doing very well to push objectives when members get killed.
They're rushing into the mid lane. You can see Diamond and Toys here, but they need to get the hell out of there. Mad Life's chasing. He has got those Moby boots on, but again, he's not going to catch on towards them, and it's another tower picked up by Fire.
2 outer turrets taken. Now there's more room on the map here. We need to see another good ultimate from Pantheon, from Archie.
It's the Chinese battle, Wei Zhao versus Cole, and he uses that minion to sneak out there. Wei Zhao didn't want any of that.
It's not a very exciting duel. But you can see he just had a Spirit of the Other Lizard. He would not have been able to take on a bloodthirster Lucian in that duel. He had to get away.
All right, we are getting towards the stage of the game where we will be able to see 12 champion fights here. It's going to be chaotic. It's going to be all about the first CC to land, because the focus from a 6-man team will annihilate a person much quicker than in a normal team fight.
And if we're actually thinking about AoE spells or AoE crowd control, I'd say Team Fire has a bit of an edge. Alistar plus Orianna, the cowball combo, if they could actually pull it off against a highly mobile team here in Ice, would be good. The gold is close enough to make team fights be able to swing it.
I think a big part of this is going to have to go on Archie's shoulders with the Pantheon ultimate, because it can be a devastating tool. If he can get the entire team of Team Fire spreading out and trying to run away from him, then it'll be great for them. But you can also land skill shot CCs like Cocoon right onto him.
And he is just so squishy, though, which makes this more difficult. It's about to happen, though. 6 people in the middle.
There's the hook. It lands on Diamond. He repels straight out of it. Bam! Big pulverize, catching 4 members of Ice out. QTV with that ultimate running takes a lot of the damage from Ice there, and now Ice are running.
Yeah, and Alistar was just a little bit too far ahead of the shockwave there. They didn't use it. The ball could not be on his head. That would have been devastating. Small opportunity missed.
Now he's pretty much out of the fight. An Alistar at half-life with no ultimate, no flash, is not going to provide a whole lot for the team.
Well, while this is all happening, Froggen's keeping that top wave pushing. Remember, they did take down that inner turret already, so someone is going to have to deal with that inhibitor turret push while Ice continue to drag them towards the dragon.
They also have top lane giant minion wave. They want that to crash onto the turret.
I mean, this is just going to be a forced fight. Alistar's been able to heal up a little bit. They do have the Jace Gate to try and get in there. They don't want a sloppy initiation because that would mean potentially a Hexakill.
Really, the loser here is the dragon, getting attacked from all sides.
Oh, wow.
And it is the burst from Team Fire to take it.
4 smites in the game and a Jace takes the dragon. What's going on here?
That's the second dragon of the game for Fire as well, and that keeps them within that gold. You can see there's both equal so far. Bjergsen's caught out once again, though. Pantheon will be man-dropping on towards him. Cool actually kicked him almost out of his radius, but 5 members, when they're on you, you're not going to escape.
Great job by Team Ice, recognizing teleport up top from Shy. He's not going to be there. This is our time to engage, and they grab a kill.
Yeah, maybe we're going to see a 6-man siege here. This turret is completely untouched, but they do hold the 1-man advantage. 65 turret dive, though, cannot be a good idea.
They're going to keep on pushing through here. There it's going to be Froggen coming around the side. 4 men straight in towards it. QTV taken low. Froggen does get taken down by Toys in the meanwhile. Messiah now, he's having to back out of there. As Shy realizes they've still got that tower. Why not keep pushing this advantage? Double it takes a lot of damage. Archie gets wrecked. Shy manages to take him down. They continue to push. They got the acceleration gate. But again, the culling is enough to stop them in their tracks.
And that's just what happened. They dove into the turret, but they didn't actually have a big enough advantage percentage-wise as far as people go.
There's just so many things to keep track of in this game because there are 6 different ultimates, 6 different flash timers. You really just have to have everyone on the same page as long as you all commit to it.
Yeah, as far as instinct goes, you're thinking, they got a guy dead and we got a few people low. This is probably fine, right? But there's an extra person.
Alistar's already coming back up. That was really bad for Team Ice there. Froggen, especially with that mobility build, jumping in very early, can't take too much damage. Oh, what a smite from Cool!
Oh, sneaky. Cool comes around on his Chinese compatriot Wei Zhao and sneaks in there. Of course, Cool coming in from OMG as well, was considered the mid laner before Xiang managed to finally get his visa to arrive here. So ward being placed on Baron. That's potentially an early target because they're hitting the 20-minute mark here.
Sneaky little pink ward that has been in there for a while here from Team Fire, though.
Froggen strong in a 1v1, though.
Wow! Froggen just decimated Shy now in that top lane.
Showing why Aurelia, a lot of people pick that into a Jace. If they actually get to even see the matchup, it's a great choice. When she can get on him and stick to him with all this mobility that he's built up, pretty easy 1 versus 1.
Messiah giving up on a big wave of farm here. He realizes a fight may well be starting out in his mid lane.
Yeah, the thing is, it's hard to get 1v1s in a game with 6 people. Now we've got another fight.
Oh, Bjergsen went way too deep. The communication not quite right with the rest of Fire here. And Ice are going to capitalize.
Oh, no.
A great hook on Toys. He gets taken down. QTV is surrounded. He's got nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. He's going to get knocked down. You can see Double Lift on towards him while the rest of Ice chase down Wei Zhao. He's going to get caught out. Froggen. And
do we see the first Baron?
Combo.
I mean, we probably could have. Baron for 6 would be a really valuable thing, but they also have mid lane turrets. What do they choose? They want the monies right now. There is a smite steal, and they're going to kill this Baron fast.
The buddies and the purple flowers.
Diamond is off the side. You can see Shy also in there. I wonder if Diamond's going to consider this one.
Oh,
Shy
good
puts
here.
a big shockwave down on towards him. Diamond is ready and waiting to come in. Is he going to try and get in and get the smite still? He repels it. He comes in towards it. No, not going to be enough. Cool out smites him, and Froggen gets himself another kill.
That's an example of actually having to have good communication. These are just player instincts. 6 people stop doing Baron. All 6 people have to be on the same page. Stop doing Baron, immediately kill the jungler. They're such good players that they know this is the only response that you could possibly have. Nobody getting that low enough for Diamond to steal.
Even after all that, it's a 4,000 to 5,000 gold advantage. It's looking like more momentum is in their favor, though. Really, that last fight, Doublelift and Madlife, even though they haven't been together too much, were the ones that really made that play. Doublelift went pretty much point-blank range with the culling because he knew the team had such a big advantage. Madlife landed the hook onto onto Toys, which did most of the work for the rest of that fight, granting them the Baron.
Well played from both of them. And also, now I want to take a look at how many aura items can people start stacking up, because these are extremely important in Hexakill. Already, we've got one from the Pantheon, so he's going to be adding some defenses for the rest of the team. You mentioned how squishy he is personally, but at least he will be adding an aura if he can stay alive to the rest of his team.
Froggen at the moment is starting to go man mode for his team as captain. 637, Triforce complete, got that giant spell that you've talked about. His alacrity boots he picked up really early on. Definitely turning the tables considering Shy was 4-0 at the start of this after that crazy triple kill he managed to pick up early on.
And we also got to keep in mind, Doublelift had 13 deaths versus the carry Bjergsen last game. Now Doublelift's 303 and it's a 1-5 Bjergsen on the other side. I mean, they're trying to get some pretty big revenge here.
Yeah, he's on Lee Sin. They gotta give him Sonic here. We'll see how it works out for them. Look at this, though. A 5-man invade in the mid lane while Doublelift keeps them busy in the mid.
All right, so swinging up to top here. It looks like we will have another siege. The Baron buff is going to do a lot for Team Ice just because of the regen. Keep your eyes on Madlife, because if they land one of those hooks, things are going to happen very quickly, as we've seen so far.
These are those big AoE fights. There is more AoE skills and crowd control on the side of Fire, but they are behind. Can they land the right combos in order to get back in this game? The Baron buff on 6 is immensely valuable here.
See if we can get that Alistar Orianna combo going, because that is crucial. But like we said, it takes communication. It takes playing with another person for a right amount of time to really be able to get those down.
Yeah, they don't have it.
Well, I mean, you saw there, just the culling was used very early on from Doublelift. Wei Zhao held his nerve on there, and again, them shock blasts just doing enough to keep him away. And as you mentioned, with the pulverize, the cow delivery system, I believe you called it, a great use of word for it, is exactly what could come out, and that's going to be a tricky problem for Ice. They're getting the picks right now, they're getting the objectives, but now they're down to those core turrets, those a few inner turrets that are left, and that base. It's going to be very hard for them to break it down. Looks like the Dragon's going to be the focus, so that's up in 2 seconds.
So out of the Baron buff, they are getting a little bit of control of the map. They weren't able to take down the turret, but taking away Dragon is actually good. Granting gold to every member on the team, it has increased value. I also want to mention another completed aura here. Now both teams actually have somebody with the defensive stats.
Yeah, and Doublelift has been farming a whole bunch when you consider they're having to split the farm amongst their 6-person team. 220 at 24.5 minutes is a bunch of it.
I like how you mentioned which players are going to play to make themselves look good and which players are going to play for the team and trying to get the team to win.
Technically, Doublelift's doing both right now.
He's actually doing both. He's playing extremely well, and he's back to his old ways, getting as much CS as he can. It says something even more on Hexakill, because there are 3 lanes and more people that are fighting over that CS.
Oh, fighting the jungle.
Well, you can see Messiah actually getting caught out here. Bjergsen's going to follow. The rest of his team are close by. You can see that lantern dangling out there from Madlife. And Messiah is safe. And now, what I did quickly want to mention is the fact that Warmogs has been built by Cool early on as his first item on Lee Sin.
Now, Warmogs is pretty good right when you get it. A huge burst of HP. However, if you're going for the long-run defensive items, then it's more efficient to go with those Randuins and with your magic resistance choice, item of choice.
Oh, there's going to be tons of damage coming out of Ice now. The double Trinity Force has been completed. Doublelift has that along with Froggen, who has now completed that Randian's Omen. So Froggen and Cool, if they're both going to be going in there, some big tanky targets alongside with a lot of damage to back it up. Ice are looking good. Of course, they have that 10 kill advantage. And overall, in gold, you can see it's a 7,000 gold lead so far. They're in a commanding position, but as we saw in the top lane, they're still a little unsure about how to break down the defense of that six-man line from Fire.
The game is definitely slowed down, and that's one of the things that happens in Hexakill as far as trying to pull people out of position. There's one more person you have to pull out of position, and it is much harder to siege against 6 as it is with 5. There's still the same number of minions, and you need to be able to clear.
Especially with a team comp like this that Team Ice are running. They don't have a good way of taking down a turret 6 versus 6. I mean, they have so much melee here. Even though Kassadin Messiah here has completed the death cap on top of his charged up Rod of Ages, it's so dangerous for him to go in. Because of that AoE that you keep talking about on Team Fire, they have a very real chance of easily defending these turrets.
That bottom lane was exposed very early on, remember. They're actually looking to try and get around the back of Messiah there. I don't think that's going to work out. Very tricky to hold down a Kassadin. They're still trying to work an advantage. That's what he said. You can see they're trying to gather around for the mid lane. Oh, wow, that's a shockwave pulling him in. And Bjergsen gets away. Kult's going to try and chase on towards him. Flashes out of the Sonic Wave, and instead he's going to get caught down. That's going to be the tower going down. That's the objective they were after. And now you can see Cool. He's going back in. He's going to get engaged upon, though. Messiah backs him up. He tries to catch on towards Diamond. A lot of damage coming out. The cooling landing on towards him. QT runs interference. Diamond taken so low with the Ignite running. Is it going to be enough? The heal comes out from QTV and holds him just alive.
Now, this is really interesting because with 6 people, the breaking point for sieges comes much quicker. We see them spreading out, trying to defend all 3 lanes, and somebody eventually gets caught out,
so
resulting in
tower,
2 turrets.
Another tower, as you said. They were the 2 turrets. The Baron had run out. They finally managed to break the siege. It was actually down to Cool and Froggen diving on someone in that jungle, eventually stepping out of position.
Yeah, honestly, that was Bjergsen getting caught out right at the start, costing them once again. Yes, they could hold fairly well, but when that happened, chaos ensued. They missed the shockwave that they needed to hold them off, and that's the big reason they lost that fight.
If you're going to be trying to defend all 3 lanes at once, then the breaking point will come up pretty soon, as Team Ice do have the potential to dive very quickly. They have that Pantheon as well. They can just go for a straight-on tower dive, and there's so much damage on the field that their target, if your team is split up, they'll take you out very quickly.
Well, there is, as you mentioned, a lot of damage on the field. You look at Shai, he's finally completed that Manamune. He's continued to the Muramana. He's got that last Whisper in the Brutalizer he had very early on. But again, if you look at Doublelift, he's now got himself the last Whisper stacked alongside that Bloodthirster and Trinity Force. Rabadon's death caps are popping in left and right. You can see Zhonya's Hourglass was picked up by Toys as well. He knows he's going to be the focus target.
Everybody's rich!
Everybody's rich. Everybody's got a lot of minions. There's been a lot of kills so far. There could be more coming in a moment. Doublelift actually catching on towards QTV. The Colin is going to take him down. The ulti not enough. Here comes the Grand Skyfall on towards Toys. Toys flashes away. He's got a Zhonya as he uses it a little bit too late there. He's going to get taken down. Doublelift putting the damage back on towards Bjergsen. He wants to get revenge. He gets Wei Zhao instead, and it's a Lucian on Lucian.
And Ice is just showing how they can pile on and chase for seemingly forever. Diamond is way outside, and Ice is coming.
Yeah, they're going to chase him down. I don't think he's going to be able to escape this one. Cool's running interference. The rest of Ice claps around towards him. Baron is now back up, and that is where they're going.
Another Baron for Team Ice. We are definitely seeing a refocused team here. They took that loss in rapid fire mode very, very personally. Doublelift and Madlife especially have been spamming duo Q together. They really wanted to come back strong in this game.
Yeah, I know Doublelift was trying a lot to get his team going together. Let's take another look at this fight. It was Doublelift leading the charge, really finishing off QTV with that culling, but he was going to be dead anyway.
Ult and flash, and he still died.
But he flashed back into the culling.
Yeah, big thing here is, once again, the shockwave couldn't hit that really highly mobile Team Ice. it's nothing against Choice here. It's almost impossible to land a good shockwave on a team that is so mobile. Once the AoE threats were down in Alistair and Orianna, they just piled on top, didn't matter.
Yeah, fantastic start though, and a fantastic turnaround, because you got to remember, Fi had that triple kill early on. Froggen chasing down Shy, and this is really one of the big differences. Shy started off so strong, headbutt comes out from QTV,
Froggen's not giving
but he's
up,
going to
though.
blade surge onto a minion. He may be enough to close him down. No, the speed comes out with the shock, the acceleration
They're
gate.
still not giving up. Mad Life's trying to cut them off with his mobility boots, and Cool on the other side getting caught.
Oh, there's going to be Archie jumping straight on towards him. Mad Life flays him back in there, and it will be the kill for Archie. Meanwhile, we also see QTV going down to Messiah.
And this is just Ice being really far ahead. The second Baron, they pop the locket on the turret, and meanwhile, Cool didn't even die on the other side.
Mobility really paying off for them.
Oh,
You can see
there's
it
the
here.
fight.
Oh, Wei Zhao getting away from this one. Cool is so tanky now. He's starting to stack that damage on as well. Wei Zhao running for his life, but that inhibitor has finally gone down. That's Ice breaking the deadlock. Now they're going to close on towards Diamond. Diamond taking all the culling damage. Bjergsen goes in, sacrificial lamb, but he doesn't manage to save with Diamond. Diamond goes down, and Froggen comes through. Toys is going to get that Zhonya's hourglass off, but he dies to Froggen as well, who is now on a killing spree. 9-3-10 for Froggen. The captain really leading from the front.
28 kills to 90, inhibitor going down. Ice just piling on. There are still 3 big death timers and 6 big people coming up the mid lane for Ice.
They definitely have their eyes on the Nexus turret now.
Yeah, they're going to pile straight in there. The shockwave's just not doing enough damage anymore. Ice as a 6-man pile-on, doing the damage on the Nexus turret. One man, no, he will not go down. Just about. Archie manages to pay the price, but it's another double kill for Double Lift. Froggen takes himself down 1 turret. There's the second, and Ice will pull equal. It's all square, ladies and gentlemen. It was certainly a great performance by Fi yesterday, but Ice have took revenge. It's all square, 2-2.
It's all fun and games until somebody gets embarrassed. Team Ice were embarrassed after Bjergsen's display on rapid fire mode, and they are not going to let that sit well.
You're absolutely right. Look how happy Double Lift was after that one. He has kind of gotten back at Bjergsen for what happened yesterday. 7-0-7 on that Lucian versus the 1-6 Bjergsen Lee Sin. He can't play everything, apparently.
Big smiles on the face of Ice there, as you say. They're really happy with that one. That's definitely going to hot up this challenge matches between these teams. That was Hexakill coming tomorrow, I believe is pick 10. And that is going to be an interesting one. You feel Fire may have the edge in that. We'll see how it works out, because at the moment, we're going to rest in the laurels. The victory that Ice have just had, and it was a pretty dominant one. 30 kills to 10 in the end.
Froggen displaying once again that popular European Aurelia build. I thought it was going to be dangerous for him to look for those duels with Jace that he wants to go for in a 6-man team, because it's very hard to find a 1v1 when there's more people, but he got it multiple times, and in the end, that's what rewarded them with an inhibitor.
Hexakill is just such a strange game mode with all those gank threats coming around. An incredibly fed early on Jace in Shy was easily shut down because they just piled on junglers one after the other, and he was never really able to adapt.
They did a great job diverting their focus up to that top lane. Once they saw Shy was going to be a problem with those early 4 kills, they did see his delayed build with a tier, which a lot of people skip now on Jace. They took advantage of it before he actually turned all that money into combat items.
Again, I got to wonder, without going too deep on the analyst side of this, surely it's down to getting those early game champions, getting that early game pressure. And once a 6-man team gets a roll in, as eventually Ice did, it puts a lot of pressure. And when you see Toys pulling out Orianna, Orianna is a late game champion. But then again, I guess you could argue Kassadin is as well.
Yeah, especially the new Kassadin. Messiah never even got fully going. He did have his death cap, but he didn't need to, because Double Lift spent all the time farming as well. They had enough late game scaling, but Hexakill, I guess they could call him the Hexakill World Champs.
Well, it was a fantastic performance for Ice. For now, though, we're going to send it back over to Quickshot and the analyst desk for more about that match.
Thank you very much, D-Man, and what a cool performance from Team Ice. After Team Fire started yesterday and was so hot, they burned through Team Ice. They set everyone's passions alight. And today, Team Ice just completely extinguished them. They slowed it down, they kept their cool, they played it slow, just like a continental iceberg. Let's get a bit more serious right now, though, because I want to talk about
Two freaks.
the combo of Double Lift and Mad Life. I'm going to go with the Double Life composition here. Double Life, Mad Lift, you can argue what you want. Unkilled, 901. Mad Life went on record saying he's 921 rather. Mad Life said in an interview he was a little put off maybe by Double F's affectionate nature. But their synergy shows true. Monty, what's your take on yesterday, who was a player you called the worst League of Legends player ever?
Worst in Earth, maybe, but he did really well today. He and Mad Life just farmed up. He held his own while Mad Life went and roamed around the map, picked up some kills, and then they both kind of carried in the late game. Impressive showing.
Want to give some behind-the-scenes talk for you. You guys only see the desk, but Monty stayed in the same hotel, and they had a 5-hour Skype session together, harping on Double, working on those rotations, on those plays, and then he just basically said, follow Mad Life around, up until the point where Mad Life started roaming. That's where Double started panicking again, but thank God Mad Life came back and just saved his ass.
Yeah, it is worth pointing out Mad Life forcibly left the lane because he couldn't handle being with the worst League of Legends player ever anymore. So, it's understandable that Mad Life would leave the lane to not get weighed down.
Talking about Mad Life, the first replay we're going to show you, if you just bring it up on the screen, is actually something where Ice loses the fight because Mad Life is stuck in the bot lane, babysitting Double Lift down here. But the replay, so it's Bjergsen and Diamond, the two European players here, invading onto Archie and Cool. And if you just start rolling it, it looks very good in the start for Bjergsen and Diamond, but then everything just goes wrong here. Cool, left untouched for now, goes on to Bjergsen. He's no longer Danish, he's now American. Terrible play, he's dead. Teleport comes in here from Shy, he joins in. Toys as well, look at the damage coming. Everyone just drops dead. 4 kills here for Fire. Down the bottom lane, Mad Life is sadly enough stuck with Double F.
Unfortunate for him, but I mean, after Bjergsen's impressive performance in Earth, he really lived up to his nickname of Burger King today by feeding an entire team of professional gamers.
International feeding. It's not even intentional anymore. I mean, at this level, it's fact of the matter though, Bjergsen in the jungle, I mean, we see why he's not a jungler at LCS level.
True.
His Lee Sin was lacking, I think is a great way to talk about it.
Yeah, I guess he's the only bad European jungler in NA.
Okay, yeah.
Everyone's supporting European junglers.
That took a second. I had to work it through for a minute.
Yeah,
There's been
all
some
right.
roster swaps later.
Yeah.
Very seriously, though, after that first team fight, it just seemed like Ice were able to get control of the matchup. What can we take away from Hexakill, considering there was that extra person? I know Kobe went like full-on economics 101, breaking it down and supply and demand and resources, etc.
Yeah. I like how much better Cassidy was, because when you've got 12 people instead of 10, you're going to have more force pools than Krepo's family. And yeah, I mean, honestly, I really liked, actually, just in general, that the teams took it very seriously and let Messiah and Toys have their heads-up battle 1v1 and in a fairly competitive game.
Yeah, that's what actually I really like about this game. We had these 2 mid laners coming back from former seasons. Not everybody in the crowd might actually know them. A lot of people just tuned in recently, but those were the big names. But back when I was more relevant than I am now.
I mean, you're right here.
Yeah. But at World Finals. It's really nice to see them guys playing mid. It's really nice to see everybody trying hard, and it's even better to see Baron being even better because you get 6 buffs. And I just sometimes wish Hexakill would exist in the LCS because we could see even more Baron throws.
I was quite excited to see how much action there was. I thought the game mode might have been somewhat slower. We are just getting the teams ready for an interview, but before we do, I mean, did the number of kills and the aggression catch any of you guys off guard? I mean, Monty, when you thought about Hexakill and were planning and preparing this segment, breaking down the numbers and crunching it all, what did the Monte Cristo expect?
No, I had no idea about Hexakill at all, but I do enjoy that we saw double jungles from both sides, because I think that really stepped up the pressure in the early game, and especially that we had these early game junglers with a lot of kill potential, I think really accelerated the flow of the game.
So, Monty, in terms of rotations here, are we looking at a 4-1-1 split push, a 5-1-0 split push? What is the ideal?
The 6-man poke con?
I wonder if the lane swaps happen, would it have been a 5v0? Or what would we go?
I would have actually loved to have seen some 5v0 lane swaps in this game. It would have been pretty entertaining.
I completely agree. Unfortunately, it did not happen. I do believe that we are ready with this interview, so let's actually check in with Shox, who is standing by with both Toys and Messiah in the interview lounge.
What's the last one?
Thank you very much, Quick Shot. I am indeed joined by both Toys and Messiah, and Fan is helping out here to translate once again. Now, welcome guys. The first thing, of course, I want to ask you is, what was it like playing versus each other again? Before the game, you guys said, well, we might be playing jungle, but you did choose to go up against each other. So what was it like?
所以说第一个问题就是说，两个人互相对战有什么感受？然后在比赛之前你们说了会打野的，但是你们却打了中间。
我觉得很怀念的一种感觉吧，因为我跟 Toys 在 S3、S4 的时候打的，S3 的时候还有 S2 的时候打的特别多，所以有一种很怀念的感觉。然后同时我们两个人在这个赛场上出现，我觉得非常激动和兴奋。
其实在这一次的 Hexakill 里面，我其实一直都感觉到很期待的。然后这一次的比赛，然后为什么会后来去打中路呢？因为我本来想说是打野的，然后我看Person 跟那个 Diamond 他们可以沟通比较好，然后他们说打这个双中狗，然后就后来就变成我去打中路了。
Okay, so Messiah was saying that he and Toys played against each other in S3 and S2 for a long time, so they are very excited to play against each other. And Hexakill is so different, so he's very excited. Toys was saying that he was trying to play jungle, but because he thinks Diamond is a better jungler, so in the end, he decided to play mid.
And then what was the game like then? Because then you're up against each other, but you have one extra person that you have to keep an eye on. So how did that make it harder for you guys?
所以问题就是说，6杀模式和5杀模式不同，就是多了一个选手。那这样对你们的游戏和战术打法来说，有没有什么不同和改变呢？
我这一次打6杀模式，我觉得，因为我们这几个选手都是职业选手嘛，然后非常注意细节，所以我们觉得我们在前期以及中期都节奏非常快，一直在对抗啊，从来没有去说经常打钱啊这种。我觉得如果说是非常专业的5个人在玩，6个人在玩的话，就会节奏非常快，然后的话打架的时间会更多一点。
那其实那个 Hexakill 那个模式是节奏很快的节奏，然后因为那个角色比较多，然后他们都是偏向一些游走以及那个 gank 的打法，所以变成说游戏节奏非常快，然后所以他们会一直出现击杀，然后会比较刺激一点。
So both of them were saying that because there's one more person and they're all very professional, so they will use that. They will make the fighting phase very fast. There will be always a confrontation, like gangs and fights. They won't just be farming all the time. They want to kill people.
They wanted to kill people. Finally, guys, it is great to have you guys here on this stage. What is it like for you guys coming back here and being able to play on this stage in front of this awesome crowd?
在退役之后，重新回到这样的一个邀请赛上，重新站在这种战场上的感觉如何？
因为这场比赛对于我来说，可能是我那个职业应该说人生中最后一场比赛了吧。以后因为我不是选手了，所以以后很少有这样的机会。今天跟在我这边兵队的所有队员打，我觉得非常开心。他们每一个人都很认真，想去赢这种比赛。我觉得我想要的就是这种精神。虽然说以后可能不会再有了，但是我会怀念，我也会记住这一个时刻的。
这次比赛我跟米赛的情况也是一样，因为我们都是一个退役的选手，所以这场比赛也许是我们人生当中最后一场的大型比赛，然后可以再一次站上这个舞台，这是我的荣幸。然后每一个队友以及对手，他们都很认真对待这场比赛，所以我也非常开心。
So Messiah was saying that this is probably the last professional game he will ever play. So he really cherishes this chance and he really appreciates this game. And he is very happy to face his old opponents. So he feels very happy and grateful. And Toys was saying basically the same thing. It will be his last game as well. He feels very honored to be here, and he also appreciate the chance that he can play with his old opponents.
Well, we are also very honored to have you guys with us here today. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now we're going to head back over to the guys at the desk for more analysis.
Thank you very much. And that was a fantastic interview, hearing from some true legends of League of Legends. Now, after that matchup, let's take a look at the challenge teams and see how their scores match up so far. Both Ice and Fire are now tied up at 2 points each. There are still 2 more days of challenge matches and 9 points yet to be claimed. So right now, it is still anybody's game. We do have to jump out for a very quick break, but when we return, we'll be setting the stage for the first All-Star Invitational game of the day as SKT T1K take on OMG. We'll be right back. As you can see, of course, FLICKR got himself on the stage. He's in the training room with the rest of the team. OMG will be watching some VODs, I think, taking some notes as a team. Giving you already a high five. Don't forget to predict who you think will win. We'll see you in a few minutes, guys.